Hi, this is Tori from Hooked on Code, and what I want to talk about right now is what happens if you get an error when you're turning on an SSL certificate that you have ordered through WP Engine. So you have a WP Engine hosting account, you get an SSL certificate from them. They do have a free Let's Encrypt SSL certificate, so I make sure that every single client has that because why not? It's free, it's easy to set up. And let's say you go through, you set that up, you have your DNS at Cloudflare, which is what WP Engine recommends because they do CNAME flattening so that it allows root level CNAME records, which is how WP Engine likes you to point your domain name to your site on their servers. So let's say you have everything set up the way that WP Engine recommends, right? You've got your SSL certificate set up and you have gone into your website settings, your WordPress dashboard under settings, and you've made the change for your WordPress URL and site address URL. Okay, so these should be HTTPS, not HTTP. So you change these, you hit save, you have your CNAME record set up the right way, where you've got your root level pointed to your WP Engine URL, and same with www, and you also have your SSL certificate set up. So let's say you have everything set up the way that WP Engine wants you to have it set it up, where you're using Cloudflare for your DNS record manager, and you've configured your SSL the way that they want you to in your hosting dashboard with WP Engine. And let's say you get an error when you're trying to visit your site, like you can't load the site, and there's some sort of error. There are a couple different errors. First of all, just go ahead and contact WP Engine if you have their hosting. But hopefully what this will do is help you save time, because there are a couple things to look for really quickly. One is to make sure that you have secured all URLs. So I'm in my WP Engine dashboard on the install that I'm using, and I've clicked on SSL. I want to make sure that my SSL certificate is set to secure all URLs, not just specific. And then I always check off WordPress admin pages to make these HTTPS only. I always check those off. And then unconfigured pages, I allow HTTPS and HTTP. That's something that I always make sure is set up, because that can cause issues too if you have HTTP only sometimes. And then if that doesn't do it, so make sure you hit save up here. When you make changes to this button becomes clickable. So you hit save up here. Same thing down here. If you make changes, this blue button becomes clickable. So you make your changes and hit save all changes. Anytime so there's two saves, two different sections on the SSL certificate configuration page in WP Engine. So let's say that still doesn't work and you're frustrated. And this should work within 60 seconds. I mean, really within like 5 seconds, but give it a minute, okay? The other thing you can do also is to open an incognito window in Google Chrome. So on a Mac, Shift Command N, and it opens an incognito window. So try to visit your website there in incognito and see if it loads. That's one thing to try. And if it loads there and it doesn't load in your browser, try clearing your cache, quitting your browser, reopening it, trying a different browser, trying a different network, because there could be some caching problems somewhere. So the other thing to do is to check in Cloudflare what your crypto setting is. So go into Cloudflare, log in, click on crypto. For SSL, WP Engine actually likes you to use full strict. I have it just on full. So check that. And then the last little trick, if nothing else works, is to turn off the DNS proxy. So you do that by clicking on this orange cloud for the appropriate CNAME record that is the root level, and also the www. So you click this orange cloud and you're turning off the DNS proxy for Cloudflare, so that Cloudflare basically can't interfere or get confused when it comes to that record and pointing that way. And from my experience, this like turning off the DNS proxy at Cloudflare with the appropriate records Click in that little orange cloud for my CNAME records that are the root domain and the www CNAME record. That does it. That gets my site to load within a few seconds. So as a recap, make sure that your WordPress address and site address, those two fields in your WordPress dashboard settings page, make sure those are actually HTTPS, not HTTP. Check and make sure that you've got some of these specific settings set in your WP Engine hosting dashboard on the SSL configuration page. So you want to secure all URLs, allow HTTPS and HTTP, and then make the WordPress admin pages secure only. And then finally, again, go to your crypto settings in Cloudflare, do full strict. If for some reason you don't think that's the right setting or you want to play around with it, do full, don't do flexible or off. And then in DNS, this is what I think is a lot of times the winning setting, is to turn off the DNS proxy by clicking on the orange cloud. If it's gray, it's off. And do that for your root level and your www subdomain CNAME records, and then your site should load.